everyone! So we're here again with another story time video, and I think you guys can pretty much tell that the weather is definitely changing outside. I was asking yesterday some of the students like, what season are we in? And some of them were jokingly saying winter. And I was like, no, I think it's a lot warmer now than it was maybe 2 months ago. And so I also asked them like, what is the next season? And they jokingly said summer as well. We all are in that summer holiday mentality already, are we? But yes, in the end, it's like, yes, in between winter and summer, there is spring, and we are definitely very much in spring now. So today, the story I'm going to be reading you guys is called Do Fairies Bring the Spring? So there's a little mole here as well. Do Fairies Bring the Spring? By Lisa Gardner Walsh and illustrated by Hazel Mitchell. So beautiful. I know a lot of students have gone to Japan recently and seen the cherry blossoms. Now, when all the blossoms of spring begin to appear, do you think there might be fairies near? Can you guys see the fairies hidden among the flowers? And also, I spy some ladybugs, some butterflies, some birds. Who sees the squirrel? Here, the squirrel's right here. I also see a worm with a green hat. He's got a little green hat on him. You guys notice him? He's near the bottom. Yeah, a little worm with a green hat. We also have a fairy who's reading. There's also a mouse or a rat somewhere. Over here. It looks like this fairy is also giving the squirrel an acorn, maybe. It's very adorable. So do the fairies pull out all the stubborn shoots and brush out winter's tangled roots? Are they huddled around in their fairy house towns, planning on ways to fill the bare ground? So after they're gonna after pulling out all these old, maybe dead plants, they're gonna start gardening maybe. Notice the shovel, the rake, so to dig and to sweep away maybe some old dead leaves. They have a watering can to water the plants and some seeds like daisy seeds, bean seeds, how to grow trees. Looks like they're having a nice little nighttime snack party while studying how to grow plants, flowers, moss, fairy dust, seedlings, spells, plants, spores. Spores are kind of like seeds, but like for mushrooms. Animals. So many things, and a lot of snails also. Oh, some apples. Is this bird sleeping? A bat? Looks like a very merry, warm place to be, isn't it? After a long winter's rest with little to do, are the fairies finally ready to start something new? Who can spot the deer? Over here, and I see a bear also hiding behind a tree. There are rabbits and ladybugs again. Is this a little owl? Looks almost like a little piggy in the hole, but I don't think piggies live in holes in trees. Will the fairies put on their finest spring clothes, party dresses, and wings spritzed and sprayed with rose? You look gorgeous. Getting ready, spraying some perfume or some fragrance. And they dress up. Do they coax all the color while hiding shades that are so much duller? So do they ask all the colors to come out, and then put away the dark, dreary colors like gray and black and white? And instead, springtime has a lot of beautiful colors, doesn't it? The rainbow. Do they use tiny brushes and oil pastels, like a special type of crayon, to paint crocuses, lilacs, and daffodils? Imagine! I wonder where all these flowers get their colors from. Is it from the fairies? Oopsies. Or do they ring jingly bells and sing spring songs to wake up the plants that have slept too long? Ring, ring, ring. Lots and lots of bells and dancing. She's even got bells around her ankles, her wrists, and on this little ribbon, it looks like. The mole is also coming up. Do you guys notice the seeds? Seeds in the ground. They're awake, starting to wake up after hearing the music. This bird also looks like he's about to eat some breakfast. As the days get longer and longer, do they ever skip a beat, tapping the ground with their tiny feet? Dancing, dancing, dancing. Look at them dancing in the background. What a beautiful fairy village with a castle as well. And in the castle, there are some fairies. They have a clock as well. Did you guys ever notice that in spring and summer, the daytime with the light and when the sun is out is a lot longer than in winter? Have you ever thought about when you wake up in the morning? In the winter time, it's dark, right? But if you wake up in the summer at the same time, maybe 7 o'clock, it's a lot brighter. So in spring and summer, the days usually get longer. Does this pitter-patter wake the natural world up, so we'll soon have lovely flowers to pluck? Have you guys ever picked flowers? If you do, make sure you're allowed to pick them, because in some places you're not allowed. But it's really nice to be able to pick some wild flowers and bring them home. Or is it just chance that they grow side by side? Young fairies and plants on the same wild ride. They rely on what each has to offer, both of their spirits making the other one softer. Maybe because one of them has good energy, so the other one has good energy too. So maybe they grow together and they both are beautiful because they influence each other. For without the plants, would fairies cease to be? Would fairies disappear without the plants? And without fairies, would plants vanish entirely? Maybe the plants need fairies and the fairies need plants to thrive and grow. All we know is that they teach the same tricks of the trade. Both plants and fairies teach you how to be patient and gentle, quiet and brave. You do need to be very patient when it comes to growing plants. It takes time for them to grow up, and you need to care for them. You need to give them fertilizer, which is like plant food. You need to water them. You need to treat them well, give them enough sunlight, but not too much either. And you also need to learn what each plant needs, because what each plant needs is different. In the same way that, maybe you guys all like different things as well. Maybe you guys need different things. Maybe one person needs to sleep more than the other. Maybe one person likes apples and the other one doesn't. So as bright petals open up and spring blankets the land, can you imagine a little fairy's hand, helping things grow to make us all smile and reminding us to sit and enjoy nature a while? They're having a picnic! Is anyone here, is any of you watching, planning a spring picnic? Maybe you had one during Easter? Maybe you guys can also ask your parents to go on a picnic with you at the park. There's a lot of nice places for a picnic. Ways to encourage fairies in spring. One of the best ways to help fairies in the spring is to work in the garden. Planting and tending to all new growth. Now, you guys don't need a garden if you want to grow plants. You can have potted plants as well. You can buy them at the flower shop or in the flower market. Miss Janice has some plants in the classroom if you guys have come before. She has some chilies, some tomatoes, some strawberries, some mint as well. I know some of you guys have brought the chilies home. If you are gentle with your plants and kind to tiny creatures who visit them, the fairies will return the favor by creating a healthy and flourishing growing garden. Certain flowers, such as bluebells, will bring fairies, while others, like phlox, yarrow, and honeysuckle, will attract their good friends like butterflies and birds. But there are other things besides planting that you can do to help the fairies bring the spring. Make a sign in your garden or yard to welcome the fairies. You can feed the birds. Now, everyone, make sure you're allowed to feed the birds and feeding the birds the right food. I know a lot of people like feeding birds bread, but bread is actually not the most healthy food for birds. So do your research and see what is good for birds to eat. I think I've seen people say seeds, rice are some good options rather than bread because bread is actually really unhealthy for them. You can also plant milkweed to help feed monarch butterflies on their marathon migration. So monarch butterflies are special butterflies that travel really far away and fix up fairy houses that have been damaged by the winter. But most important of all is to laugh and frolic, dance around and enjoy your time in nature. Now, something you guys can do is obviously search up what these flowers look like, see if you've seen them before, and maybe if you want, keep an eye out for them in the flower shop or in the flower market and see if you guys want to buy some. Now that spring's here. Now, whether or not the fairies are real, you guys can keep a lookout and see if, you see some little hands helping us this spring. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye from Miss Zenith. Bye.